There's something really interesting here, which is basically, based on our reporting, Anthropic is proposing to extend the facility. It's the response of the banks who are trying to get in place for a potential IPO that I find most interesting. Explain that.
Pay for play, did someone say? Look, all kidding aside, it's become the reality of modern-day IPOs. The balance sheet play has become such a critical component. Anytime that a company is looking to go public and banks that are angling to find a role on a public offering will try and show every bit of support that they can for the company to show that they're committed to it and want to make sure that they snag an important role in the IPO. And as have been reports that started a few weeks back that Anthropic is in the market trying to expand its revolving credit facility, the feedback we're hearing from the market, from the banks, that there is a lot of interest. A lot of people want to sign up. What is the final amount that Anthropic will end up with isn't clear. What they would want to cap it at isn't clear. But what is clear that there is certainly enough demand out there, enough willingness for Anthropic to be able to announce a new revolving credit line that could be well in excess of $10 billion if they wanted it. And I know every time you hear questions about or headlines about a revolving credit line or a credit line, there is some level of concern. Why is a company taking on new borrowings? But it is very important to understand that this is not new borrowing. This is liquidity, not leverage. This is cash reserve to impress public market investors. It is to show that this company can withstand any sort of financial surprises. And that's a show of confidence. And that show of confidence especially helps right in the lead up of pitching these public market investors on what could potentially be one of the biggest, if not the biggest IPO of all times.
I appreciate that, because $10 billion is a lot, and people do see the word credit facility or revolving credit line and wonder about it. Do we know where the ranking on banks is right now with Anthropic, like the players that are jostling for position?
I think even unlike sort of SpaceX, where even weeks before the IPO, we got a much bigger list of the expanded roster of banks on the IPO, this list has remained tight. It's, I believe, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and maybe one or two others. But closer to the IPO, you can be rest assured that this list will expand, but they're keeping the information tight for now. But as we get closer and closer to that public offering, to that public listing, you will, in the final lineup, definitely see a much bigger list of banks that will perhaps go well over 10 banks, if not much more.